Hey America, just to follow up on my previous video, just a few things that I forgot to talk about. Number one, look, again, you either have a license to provide transportation or you don't. You either have a license to sell real estate or you don't. You either have a license to cut hair or you don't. So America, whatever job you have, whatever profession you have, if you have to have a license to do what you do, if you're a teacher, you have to have a teaching credential. If you're a nurse, you have to have a license. Doctor, of course, lawyers, insurance, a lot of these professions need to have a license. And quite honestly, America, it's very hypocritical of you to get into these unlicensed vehicles. You want your license to be valued. You want your license to be respected. You want your license to be honored. So why are you disrespecting the transportation license? Obviously, I hope the answer is because you didn't know. Well, now you know. If you have to have if you're a licensed CPA, you better not get into an unlicensed vehicle. If you're a licensed real estate agent, I'm sure you don't want unlicensed real estate agents out there. You are being very hypocritical if you get into one of these unlicensed cars. You want your license honored. You want your license valued. You've paid for your license. You've jumped through all the hoops for your license. You've done everything the right way to get and maintain your license. You want your license to be valued. You want your license to be honored. Well, then please don't get into these unlicensed vehicles. Just don't do it. Secondly, when I see the kids, I call them the kids, the millennials, the kids getting into these cars. On the one hand, I say to myself, they're not my demographic. They're look, if the illegal taxis weren't available to them, they'd get into a legal taxi, or they'd get into a shuttle, or they'd drive drunk, or whatever. They're probably not calling a car service. But when I see professionals, adults, people that I think should be smart enough, people in suits and ties and nice dresses, getting into these Priuses, getting into these illegal taxis, it makes me want to pull my hair out. I don't have very much hair left, but it makes me just want to scream. It obviously, they're not educated. And I hope that these videos can start to educate America. Please hope that you share these videos. But yeah, I see these people getting into these cars and I'm thinking, you should be smarter than that. Really, America, you should be smarter than this. Wow, I can get to the airport for 50 cents. This is awesome. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You've ever stopped to think, how am I getting to the airport for 50 cents? Obviously, I'm being facetious, but don't you think you should question why I get to the airport for 50 cents? You're getting to the airport for 50 cents because A, the driver's not licensed. The driver's not regulated properly, insured properly. None of the regulations that I went over in the first video, right? Not regulated in any way. And number two, not paid. These drivers are unpaid, and the only way they make any money is a portion of the sale, which again they say is not a sale, but it's ride sharing when they talk to regulators, but it's a sale when they talk to the labor people. Oh yeah, we have independent contractors that they get a portion of the sale. But then to the regulators, they say, oh no, we're not. Or the transportation regulators, they say, oh, we're not transportation. We're ride share. It's completely a ride sharing app. But yeah, the country has fallen into the fallacy of this whole ride sharing. Sometimes some places I have seen it now, they start to call it ride hailing, which is a little more honest. But for years it's been, ride sharing. Oh, here's where you get your ride share. I mean, give me a break. These people are not sharing a ride. They're providing transportation, and you're perpetuating the lie by calling it ride sharing. And lastly, the other thing I wanted to point out is at the airports. The airports used to be the last bastion of truth. You can't pick up at the airport unless you have a license. Anybody can drop off, but you should be able to pick up at the airport unless you have a license, unless you have a transportation license, because it's all about the lawyers. So all the airports in the world, certainly in the country, had to protect themselves from the lawyers. So if someone were to get picked up at the airport and get injured on the way home, the lawyers would sue the crap out of everybody. They would sue the driver, they would sue the taxi company, they would sue the airport. Hey, you guys didn't do your due diligence. You didn't make sure that people driving, picking up people at the airport were safe and regulated and followed all the laws. So we're going to sue you too. So the airports used to make sure, in order to pick up at the airport, we're going to give you a little airport sticker. Of course, now we're going to turn it into a revenue generating system. So we're going to sell you the sticker. But in order to get the sticker, we have to make sure, we have to vet you. We have to make sure that you have a license, that you have your car is registered properly as a transportation vehicle or a taxi or a car service. Your drivers are all licensed. Your company has a transportation license. So that way, if and when they do get sued, they could say, look, hey, we checked the driver out. It's not my fault he got into an accident. It's not our fault. Don't sue us. We checked him out and he's got a license, and his car was inspected just like all the other cars. But slowly, Lyft and Uber bribed all the airports, and now we've got an unlevel playing field. We've got a bunch of taxis who are obviously licensed, and we've got a bunch of car services like myself. We're all licensed and legal, and we have to pay for the sticker, and we're legal and we're legitimate. And then here comes Uber and Lyft, and they can pick up at the airport with nothing but a sticker. They don't have a license. They don't have the proper insurance. They don't have the proper anything. They put a sticker in their window. That's what they have. But the airports have been, it's probably two things. Bribed, number one. They got, Uber and Lyft paid off every airport in America. And, and the pressure, hey, the public wants it. The public is not educated. And I'm hoping that these videos can slowly educate them about, yes, there's a public demand for something, but it's at some point, America and the government needs to say, hey, this is not right. This is not good for you. Just because your kid wants some candy at 2:00 in the morning, the parents need to come back and say, hey, 2:00 in the morning, the candy is not good for you. That's not good for you. So, sometimes there's public demand, but public demand needs to be tempered with some laws and regulations and safety. And speaking of the airports, this is another point I wanted to make. It's very frustrating when I go to the airport and I see a crowd of people waiting at the Uber, Lyft, ride-sharing area for their car, when there's taxis right there. Again, this is not about the car service thing. This is about a safety thing. Like I said in my last video, it pains me to see people waiting. They're gonna sit and wait for an illegal, unsafe, unregulated Uber or Lyft when there's perfectly licensed and regulated taxis just sitting there waiting for them. But no, we don't like taxis. The taxi industry has been vilified. And again, I'm not a taxi person. I do not own a taxi company. I know people are going to attack and say, look, this guy's a taxi person. He doesn't like the Ubers and Lyfts, so he's a pro. This is another thing they love to say. He's a pro taxi union scum. He doesn't like the taxis. Look, I don't like taxis either, but it doesn't make any sense to me why I see a crowd of people. They all on their phone. They ordered a car, but they have to sit and wait for their driver to pull up. Their illegal driver to pull up, that they're going to risk their life to have some random person take them home when there's legal taxis sitting right there waiting for them. People say, oh, I like the convenience of the Uber, but in this situation at the airport, there's literally lines and lines of taxis ready to pick you up and ready to take you wherever you need to go. But stupid America is going to go over there, cross the street, stand in the Uber area and wait for their illegal, unlicensed, unregulated taxi to take them home and save a buck because it's going to be 50 cents, but it's Russian roulette. It's Russian roulette. I mean, people say, well, I use Uber all the time, dude. Bro, come on. I use it all the time. It's like Russian roulette. It works. I tell people all the time, it works until it doesn't work. Wait till it doesn't work. Wait till you get assaulted. Wait till you get injured. And for women, wait till you get raped. And then come back and tell me, oh yeah, it was great. Lastly, a lot of people use Uber and Lyft to their kids are off at college, or their kids incredibly stupid. You're going to put your kid into an illegal, unlicensed car. Let's equate that to my dentist thing. So again, you're going to, hey, my kid's got a sore tooth. I'm not going to call a licensed dentist. You know what? There's a guy down the street. Oh, yeah. I'm going to save some money. My kid, yeah, it's just my kid. I don't care. It's my kid. Yeah. One more point. Talking about the corporate world. And this is important for business people. I see business people at the airport. People in suits and ties and nice dresses and people dressed up. They're obviously traveling on business. And their corporation or their company or their business has decided, hey, we can save money. We can save money if we tell our employees, hey, order an Uber or a Lyft, get to the airport. Order an Uber or Lyft, get to the airport for 50 cents. Hey, that's going to help our bottom line. Because you think about it, we have 1,000 employees and, 500 of them travel, and they're always traveling. And every time they go to the airport or come to the airport or go anywhere, hey, if we make a decision, hey, order a Lyft and order an Uber, and hey, that'll help save us money, because taxis, $3.50 a mile, plus tip, hey, versus an illegal Uber driver, hey, 50 cents. This is awesome. This is great. It's going to help our company. Risk. Incredibly risky. Because here's the scenario. My company tells my wife, hey, we want to save money. Next time you need to go to the airport, order a Lyft or an Uber. Okay? They tell my wife to use a Lyft or an Uber. She gets injured. She gets killed. Right? I'm going to sue the hell out of my company. And I'm going to win big time. Your Honor, my wife's company, in an effort to save money, instructed my wife to get into an illegal, unlicensed taxi. Your Honor, opposing counsel, can you please show me the driver's transportation license? Oh, he doesn't have one. Opposing counsel, Your Honor, can you please show me the driver's commercial registration? Oh, doesn't have one. Can you please show me the driver's commercial insurance? Oh, doesn't have one. Can you please show me any that this driver has followed any of the laws and regulations regarding transportation in this state? Don't have one. What's he got? Oh, he's got a sticker. Your Honor, my wife's company instructed my wife, in an effort to save money, to get into an unlicensed, illegal, unregulated taxi. She's now dead, Your Honor. Show me the money. Who do you think is going to win in that argument? Who do you think? So these companies are making a horrible decision. What's the old phrase? Penny wise and a dollar foolish, right? We're going to save money. Oh, we're going to save so much money. They're going to save money until someone really gets injured or really gets assaulted, until they have to go to court, and they will lose. So out there, America, if you are a business owner or if you are in charge of transportation for your corporation. I don't know what to say. Like, what are you doing? You are putting your entire company at risk if you use these vehicles. Look, my last video was a plea to America. Don't get in these cars. If stupid America wants to be stupid enough to get into an unlicensed taxi and get into these Ubers and Lyfts, it's on them. But if corporate America decides to put their employees at risk by putting their employees into these unlicensed, unregulated vehicles, and they get injured or they get assaulted or they get raped, that's a liability issue, and your company is going to be in big trouble. So just like my last video, don't get into these cars. Please get into a taxi, get into a car service. If you want to use Uber, order the black car. You're going to get a legal licensed car service. Example, I had a female executive for a big company, and I'm not going to disclose the company, but she told me, this was about 2 years ago, she told me that her entire company sent out a memo to their entire, all their employees. Look, when you're traveling on business, if you want to travel on business, or when you're traveling on business, you have three options. Our employees are the most valuable asset that we have. We care for you. So you have three options. Take a taxi, take a licensed legal taxi. Order a car service from one of our preferred vendors. Order a car service. If you really like the convenience of Uber, then you must order the Uber Black or the Uber SUV. Don't even think about turning in a receipt to get reimbursed for your transportation for a Lyft or an Uber X. Don't even think about it, because it will not be approved. We are telling you, and also by doing this, they were setting up their precedent that they will not allow their employees to risk their lives while on company time. So they said, order a taxi, order a car service, or if you really want to use the convenience of Uber, you must order a black car or an SUV. You must order the legal, licensed, regulated transportation provider. We will not pay for your Uber X or your Lyft. And it's not because we don't want to pay for it. It's because we don't want to set the precedent that it's acceptable for you to get into an unlicensed vehicle. And she told me that was a couple years ago. So I hope that more corporate America follow this lead. Don't just think about the short term. Wow, we can save, look at all the money we could save if everyone gets into these cars and it's 50 cents to get to the airport. It's short-sighted thinking. Okay? So I just wanted to follow up on that on my previous video. If you have a license, whatever you do, you want your license to be valued. You want your license to be respected. Don't get into those cars. Just don't do it. All right. Again, like this video, like my previous video. Share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Don't let your kids get in these cars. Your kids are off at college. Tell them, look, when you're off at college, I know you're going to want to use the Ubers and Lyfts. Don't do it. Order the black car. Order the black car. Order the legal licensed car. We want you safe. We want you to be safe. And I hope that I've, in these last, in both of these videos, that I've stressed, for me, it's not about money. I mean, I'm not telling you to order me. I'm not telling you to call my company. I haven't even mentioned my company. It's about safety. It's about your safety and how much you value yourself. But no one's told you this before. No one's shared this with you before. No one said, oh, well, 90% of the people I talk to I say, Uber and Lyft are breaking the law. They go, what? What are you talking about breaking the law? What are you talking about breaking the law? They are blatantly breaking the law. Incredibly breaking the law. It's not even a question. It's frustrating that I even have to have this conversation. That's how frustrated it is. Like, I shouldn't even have to explain this to you. You should already know. You should already know. You either have a license to provide transportation or you don't. You either have a license to sell real estate or you don't. You either have a license to do something or you don't. And these tech companies are they're using technology to circumvent the law. I give them, like I said in the last video, I give them a lot of credit for their innovation. Wow, or on your phone, you can order a car, you can see your car coming, you can tell a destination, it's a cashless system. All of it, great, fantastic innovation. I'm not anti-Uber, okay? I'm not anti-technology. I'm not. I'm anti-illegal transportation. I'm pro-safety. I'm pro-laws and regulations. I'm pro, let's have a level playing field. We can't have a bunch of people like the taxis and the car services following all the laws, jumping through all the hoops, randomly drug tested, driving record monitored. I'm following all the laws, and then we've got a growing army of people just putting a sticker. Just put a sticker. Sign up with Uber. Put a sticker. I don't have a problem with them delivering food. Don't have a problem with them delivering packages. Don't have a problem with it at all. Deliver all the food you want. Deliver all the packages you want. But the moment you put a person in your vehicle, that is transportation. It's obviously transportation. Can we agree it's transportation? Don't fall into the whole lie again of ride sharing. It's not ride sharing. It's transportation. Next time you get into your Lyft or your Uber X, ask your driver, hey, do you have a transportation license? They'll either say, no, that's an honest person, or they say, oh, I don't need one. I don't need one. It's a big fat lie. Big fat lie. Oh, I don't need one. Oh, I got a sticker. Or Uber has it. Uber and Lyft, they don't have. Uber and Lyft are technology companies. They are not They've even said themselves, we are tech companies. We are not transportation companies. We are tech companies. They don't have transportation licenses. And they're not dispatching to licensed transportation providers. The black car is, the SUV is. They are dispatching to, and if you notice on the app, it says professional drivers. I mean, it's a joke. So if they put that, professional drivers, use your brain. So that means the other drivers are not professional. They don't want to say licensed because that means the other drivers aren't licensed. Yes, they have a driver's license. Again, don't fall into the trap. They have a driver's license, but a driver's license is not a license to provide transportation. A driver's license is a driver's license. It's not a transportation license. All right. Like this video, share this video. Please share it with your friends, share it with your family. Don't get into those cars. Don't let your kids get into those cars. Don't let your family members get into those cars. Educate one another. I hope I've educated you in these last two videos. Please educate each other. Hey, tell your friends, hey, did you know that Uber and Lyft are illegal? Hey, did you know that? And you'll get some pushback. You'll get people go, oh no, I use them all the time. Yeah, it's Russian roulette. It works until it doesn't work. Have a great day.